The match finished. Wolves won, West Ham 0. We didn't turn up. It was a bunch of shit. I say that because in recent games I've been defending the manager. There is no defence against that tonight. I've run out of excuses for him. So you go away to Wolves, who are struggling against relegation. You get played off the pitch because you choose to sit. Well, you choose to play a back three again, against a team. You know, you do deny yourself another attacking player against a team like that. What's more, the selection is just wonky. Now, I don't know what he's done. I don't know whether he's, bowed down to what the fans wanted, in which case that's weak, right? There's no excuse for that because at the end of the day, it's him that takes the responsibility for picking that side. He's put Neil Mellor, a.k.a. Evan Ferguson, as good as Neil Mellor, actually, just a big stiff up front. He did one thing, and he only half did that, and that was, the wonderful bit of work by Bowen. He's cut the ball back to him. The lazy fuckers made some. He's had a gentle jog away from defenders. Very bad defending. You see why Wolves down there. He's in oodles of space all the time in the world, gently jogging. The ball's slightly behind him. Rather than adjust his position or even try to adjust his position and do something a bit cute, the geezer just sticks a leg out and tries to drag it, the lazy fucker. And that epitomised his game. It epitomised his game. So I think we see now why he ain't getting a start. I don't want to see him again. He was a waste of space. And denied us again. We denied another attacker because of the back three. We denied another one because we've got a shit striker. And then he plays Luis Guillermo on the left-hand side. Now, I've been calling for Luis Guillermo to get some minutes. We all have, right? We even asked for Evan Ferguson to start last night. It shows how much we know. But that was on the basis he started for Ireland and he scored for Ireland. Maybe he tried for Ireland. I don't know. Or maybe Ireland and that inferior opposition, maybe that's his level, but it ain't the Premier League, that's for sure. 60 million yen. Luis Guillermo is an 18-year-old. I expected him to get more minutes at the end of a game, not to start a fucking game against Wolves, one of the most physical teams in the league. Physical, dirty, niggly, they wind you up. And he's played the left-hand side of Skulls. Skulls, who's barely out of, silly thing to say. I mean, look, he's barely out of school, right? He's 19. In front of him, he's got no experience. Skulls is a good player, but he's got no experience against, he needs senior players around him, as we saw a little while ago when Cresswell was babysitting him through games and stuff like that. Cresswell was next to him today, but in front of him, he's got bloody Luis Guillermo, who doesn't know how to defend. This is a guy who learned what he does, coming on as a substitute for some Brazilian side who are on the front foot all the time. Give him the ball, run at defence. Anyway, so that was depressing. It's clear that he's not ready to start games and shouldn't start another one. Don't know whether that signals the end for him or not. I mean, he did one good thing, which was he ran with the ball and passed it to Bowen, and defenders backed off him. That was it. So him and Ferguson did one thing each, really. They didn't even run around a lot. They started running around a lot, but yeah, that so-called press didn't last very long, did it? As soon as they got on top, we were screwed. A really, really cheap goal we gave away. A really, really cheap chance straight after that from the set piece. Clear header, free header. Thank God for Areola. How many times has he saved Potter and Lopetegui? This season, bloody loads is the answer. He's pulling out miracle saves. That wasn't a miracle save as in those two that he made the other week, but it was a good one. And he has to do that all the time now. Last gasp saves. It's what we were moaning about with Moyes at the end of last season. The keeper was just bailing him out all the time, right? Why does this happen? Why did we end up playing with a back three of, Cresswell's all right when he's next to, when he's sandwiched in between a little bit of pace. In you got Kilman and you got Todibo and you got Skulls outside and you got someone a bit solid in front of Skulls. There's adults around, right? But today, no protection for that defence at all. That makeshift defence for some reason. Why was it a makeshift defence? I don't know. Where was Todibo? Don't know. He was on the bench, wasn't he? So he couldn't have been that injured. Maybe he's resting him for Bournemouth on Saturday. It's a fucking good idea, that is, isn't it? We've gone to a crap side and got played off the park. I can't get over it. This one has taken me by surprise. I could always find some sort of reason, some sort of thing I could take out of a game, but I can't take anything out of this because they're not good. But we made them look good, and that's ridiculous. Only a very small handful of players came out with any sort of credit in that game. I'd say Paqueta did all right. Was trying the the glamorous more often than not, like he does. Sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, I'm recording this at about 2:30 in the morning because I can't be bothered getting up tomorrow and talking about this crap again. Excuse me. So, AWB tried his best, always does. Tried to create something out of nothing right at the end there. I think Alvarez, why the fuck he wasn't starting when you got James Ward-Prowse starting? You're playing against a physical team. We know that is not James Ward-Prowse's bag. Does James Ward-Prowse do this every time he turns up under a new manager? Couple of good games, then shit. Because that's what he did for Moyes. We blame Moyes because he played him as a CDM. Said it wasn't his fault. And Lopetegui, he said he wanted him, then he let him go. Maybe he knew more than he's letting on. Let him go. He landed at Forest, couple of good games, then he's on the bench. He's come back to us, couple of good games, nothing. Just playing sideways. And the one thing he hasn't got is bottle. So you put him up against a team like that, they're going to kick you. He ain't interested. He didn't turn up today, James Ward-Prowse, the heart of our midfield, for fuck's sake. How can you do that? How can you, I don't know. How is Alvarez? That is criminal, leaving Alvarez on the bench. For some games, I can find a reason for it, right? I can't find a reason for it today. He's basically our best central midfielder by some distance. The last thing he should be doing is sitting on the bench, right? Shouldn't happen. So what did Potter do? What did he do? Did he bow down to the fans? Did he have one eye on Bournemouth, which is fucking stupid? Let's have one game at a time, for God's sake. But he's basically, decided or forced to play a makeshift back three. Well, why play a back three when it's a makeshift one, for fuck's sake? You don't need Mavropanos and Cresswell in a defence. You genuinely don't need it. You don't need Ward-Prowse in the middle of the pitch against a tough physical opposition. You do not need it. And what you definitely don't need is Neil fucking Mellor up front. The useless, lazy, walking fucking attitude, that bloke. Maybe my gossip was right. Don't want to see him in a West Ham shirt again. Listen, these people should be... I can't Guilherme this as well, actually, but he's a kid. Maybe I'll let him off. But when you're given your chance, fucking take it with both hands and try and do something with it. Otherwise, you're not interested in taking your chance. Or you're not good enough. What is it? I don't know. He's supposed to be good enough. 60 million quid. Fucking 60 million quid, my arse. Anyway, look, I'm getting wound up. This was this was a terrible, terrible, terrible game of football to watch. Really, really terrible. I couldn't take anything from it. Second half, there was a marginal improvement, I think, especially when we made all of the changes. So we ended up bringing on Füllkrug, Souček, Alvarez, and Soler. When that all happened, we kind of took control of the game for a while. But then again, Wolves were sitting back. But those players that came on worked hard. Alvarez done what he did. He loved the tussle. So he gets a lot of credit for his performance, as does Paqueta. He was kicking them all over the place. It's what you got to do against Wolves. I don't remember Soler doing that much, to be honest, but he was a lot more present, I could say, than the bloke he replaced. And Souček, look, back to Füllkrug. Füllkrug was the one that played that beautiful ball through to Souček at the end. Souček's got to score that. I know it's on his wrong foot. He's got to score it. He's got to score it. I'm sorry, but when you earn that much money, you should be able to at least strike a ball cleanly with your wrong foot. Shouldn't you? From 5 yards out, surely. Put it miles wide into the side netting. Oh, God. It's so depressing. And on top of all that, Füllkrug he's 10 times the fucking striker that Evan Ferguson will ever be. And he's about 49 years old, this geezer, been injured, come back from a long injury, and he does what he does every time he gets a brief amount of time on the pitch. He either scores or he sets something up. He set up Souček and he hit the crossbar. Two really fucking, instinctive pieces of play out of nothing, which is what you expect from a striker. I know he's not we don't want him and want to sell him, right? It was the wrong choice in the first place, but credit where it's due. Every time he comes on the pitch, he does something. Might not be your cup of tea, but he does something. As I said it till I'm sick enough, so I'm blue in the face, right? He doesn't play for Germany for no reason. He's an all right player, just completely injury prone and too old. So there you go. We could have nicked an undeserved point at the end, really. It wouldn't have been deserved in any way, shape or form. Let's be brutally honest. I mean, those two chances they had with the header and then hitting the crossbar in the first half, I mean, they could have wrapped it up, should have wrapped it up. Should have been game over by half time, which is when Potter waits, no matter how bad it is, waits until half time, until he makes any changes whatsoever. All of our last three managers have had their own pattern, their own comfort blanket. Moyes used to make substitutions at 70 minutes on the dot after making the players stand there for 10 minutes in the cold. Lopetegui, as soon as someone got a yellow card, he whips them off. It's quite comical. He used to make large-scale changes at half-time. That's exactly what Potter did. That's that's you admitting you got it fucking wrong, well wrong. But more importantly, and Chris said something to me earlier, which worried me. He's had a fucking hell of a time up there tonight, and I've got some videos from Dodsey as well. I'll share it with you in a minute. But there's one from Chris too, which are, in fact, let's do that now. Let's do it now while I compose myself a little bit. All right, this is what happened to Chris after he escaped that hellhole of Molineux.
So just come back from the game. Obviously West Ham absolutely atrocious. Local car park, get this. My motor's parked there. This whole car park is absolutely jammed to the point where all of these cars are parked up. This is not a wait to get out. These are cars that are parked there, and my car's blocked. So God knows what time we're going to get out of this place. But what a crappy.
Chris is the worst. He had the worst luck of any away fan, I think, this season. He's on a 9-game defeat. 9 defeats in a row he's had in his last 9 away games. I think I've got to think again about taking him to Man U, because that's all going to go wrong, isn't it? That's all going to go wrong. Nah, maybe that's when the run will end. It's got to end at some point. This is a penance he pays for seeing us beat Spurs last year. There's always the downside after saying good happens at West Ham, right? And going back to Ward-Prowse, the least you expect from Ward-Prowse is a decent set piece, isn't it? And it. Thanks, Dodsey, for that wonderful example of Ward-Prowse's amazing set-piece ability. He's fucking top drawer, he is. When he ain't doing that, he's doing literally fuck all, you know that. And then, to rub salt into the wounds, one day he's going to score this fucking fabled free kick that the commentators have been going on about. But it's like taking food out of the commentator's mouth tonight. By the time we got a free kick in Ward-Prowse hit it over the top range, it was fucking Lucas Paqueta stood up and took it. And this is what happened. Come on! Now, I don't know how many free kicks he's taken for us, but it's a few, isn't it, Lucas Paqueta? He can't take a free kick. So why the hell is he taking free kicks? I thought we had a good game other than that, but that's just a waste. I'm not even going to go on about the 40-yarder from Ward-Prowse. God, he pissed me off today. He really did. I expected, like with the last manager, I expected to see incremental improvement. I saw that with the defending, and so that's why I was giving him a break, because it was good. It was solid. He got a defence together that looked all right. It looked pretty good. And then the midfield will stand out like a sore thumb, and you think, well, that's the next thing you need to adjust. Because what was happening was it was just far too containing and defensive, meaning that the forward players like Bowen and Kudus were getting no service. They were having to come too deep. Well, still coming too deep. I mean, Bowen, when he gets the ball, he's got like 4 players to beat. And when Chris said to me today that Moyes had a better idea of attacking football than Potter, that really worried me. But when you think about it, he knew how to get the best out of Bowen, Kudus. I mean, they were on fire under him for a long time. And also Paqueta. I mean, Moyes, it was desperately poor football, but he did know how to counter-attack. I'm worried that Potter just hasn't got a clue. What seems to be happening is this little routine of we tied it up, we carry the ball elegantly out of defence, we pass it to the midfield. Side. I can cope with that, right? Because that is, rather than lumping it forward, you're holding onto the ball, holding on to possession, waiting for the opportunity to dive forward, right? And that is when the action should happen. During that transition, that should be, right, seeing the opportunity, he's making that run, we're going to play this ball to him and everything else. No, we move up the pitch and we go, pass. We do the same fucking thing, just outside the box. We're trying to pass the fucking ball into the goal. It nearly works at the end. More luck than judgment. But again, I'll give Chris a little bit of credit here because this is exactly, he said something that I feel it a nail on the head. And I felt this for some time, not only under Potter, but under Lopetegui and under the last bit of Moyes as well. And that is, it's like some of our players, they're good individuals, but not good collectively. It's like sometimes they haven't met each other before. They don't know what the other one's going to do. There's more to a team than having a collection of individuals, decent individuals. And that's exactly what we've got. We've got a half-decent set of individuals who choose when they turn up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This needs stripping down. This is the first time today where, because I'm quite patient, right? I've been patient, made me quite unpopular being patient about Potter. But I don't care. I'm just being honest. I'm still going to be a bit patient with him, but the thing is, I've started to see the cracks. And when you start seeing the cracks, in my experience, either those cracks get filled up pretty quickly, or they start getting wider and wider. And that's kind of where I am at the moment. I've seen the cracks. I've seen that he's just like the previous 2 managers. He's got his comfort blanket of this system that he just reverts to. With Moyes, it was 2 CDMs, had to have 2 CDMs, robbing you of the extra attacker. With Lopetegui, fuck me, I don't know what he was doing, but it was the same thing. You get up outside the box, no clue how to penetrate, no clue. And now we got him, and now we got Potter, who I thought was quite intelligent. The thinking man's football manager, the one who understands tactics and how to tweak things, change things around. Not another one who picks fucking random selections because of something he's heard or something the fans have said, I don't know what it is, or he's got a game against Bournemouth on Saturday. No random selections. I mean, you have Moyes who picks the same fucking players every game and run them into the ground and refuse to take them off until they were dead. Then you had Lopetegui, yellow card, off. And it was just, it's just these managers are just so set in their ways. They won't try something different. And if they do try something different, it's ridiculous. And that tonight, what he did there, he must have known that Ferguson was Ferguson. Yeah. But he played him. Well, he must have known that. So why did he play him? Fuck what the fans say. If you know that, don't play him. Guilherme, you must have known how good he was. Chris said he was talking to Tony Cottee at half time, and he said he didn't fancy the Brazilian Guilherme. I'm not going to have a go at Guilherme that much. He's a kid. But I didn't expect to see him start, but I did expect a little bit more. Maybe a couple of runs. Maybe some energy, enthusiasm, really hunting things down, looking for the ball. I know he had a defensive duty as well, but I just expected a bit more. I've got to be honest, I'm really disappointed about that. But I'm disappointed with many of the players, many of the players. There's only a few that come out. Paqueta, Alvarez, Fulkrug did well for the time he was on. AWB. I don't think Bowen was very good. I mean, he's literally, what's he done to Bowen? If I was Bowen, England's Jared Bowen, I'd be looking at my form and where I'm being asked to play. I might be considering my future, you know. I think you might be thinking that the reason, you know, he came here and he thrived under Moyes. He did all right under Lopetegui, but it was the beginning of his run off of form. Potter's finished him off. I mean, my God, he's just like, he looks like a shell of a man at the moment. I watched his post-match interview. Something's not right. And I don't know whether it's the players in the dressing room, because there's a lot of problems in that dressing room. There've been lots of problems in that dressing room under the last two managers. They probably still exist. You've probably got cliques going on, the South Americans and all that sort of stuff. You've probably got Potter, I would say, trying to live a quiet life as best he can and get through to the end of the season so that he can make some changes. But the whole reason I wanted Potter, one of the biggest reasons I wanted Potter, other than I thought he was very intelligent, understood tactics, can change things around and all that sort of stuff mid-game, like he did against Moyes time and time again, and scored goals against Moyes as well. Not great goals, but there was always, you know, chances created by Brighton when we played them, and that's the only reference point I've got. You know, I'm at a loss. I mean, is this really where we're at now? Is he happy? Does he look at that and say, "Oh yeah, I'm really happy with that performance"? We didn't. He's now just coming out with the same post-match mantra, a similar version to what Lopetegui did. Lopetegui started off, it was quite good to listen to, very passionate, art on the chest, all that. After a while, he just totally pissed you off because he come out and said, "Oh yes, and we're not good enough. We must get back on the training pitch." It's exactly what Potter says in slightly better English, game after game. So all those little positives, they're gradually being taken away and replaced by really predictable negatives. And I must admit, listen, I've got to give him a chance. I'm going to, but you know, one of the big reasons I wanted him here was because Sullivan didn't want him. But then if you look at it sensibly, Sullivan's just going to, you know, if he don't want a manager, he's going to back him less than if he does want a manager, right? So a bit stupid of me, really. And I don't blame Sullivan for tonight. That he's on par. But I do blame him for only giving him a shit loanee in the transfer window and hiring him into the club too late to spend any money in the transfer window. That was done deliberately. And I just wonder, because he did that deliberately, is he going to do the same in the summer, or is he going to get the same backing as previous managers? If he gets the same backing, is he going to bring in the right players? Because West Ham are not patient like Brighton. We can't wait 4 years for a team to develop. A team's got to start showing itself from day one of next season. It really has. In fact, over the summer, in the preseason, we've got to see something happen. We can't have another season where we have a shit preseason. We can all see there are problems. A crap start to the season. You know what I mean? The same cycle repeating itself over and over again. We can't do that. So look, I hope this is a blip. I hope that there's more to Potter than what we're seeing at the moment. I genuinely do. I thought there was. I hope there is. But as it stands today, no, that's it. I wouldn't say it's burst me bubble, because I didn't really have a bubble. You know, I was as downbeat as everybody else with a brand of football. I was just more accepting of is what it is. But that is only against a decent side. That is only against a decent side. As far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse for going to Wolves and letting them play us off the pitch. And that's exactly what happened. But anyway, look, enough moaning from me. If you've liked this video, I don't fucking know why you would, but if you did, please can you give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, The Bobby Moore Stand. Hit the bell notification icon. It is nearly 3 o'clock, for Christ's sake. I've put in the hours for this. I recorded one earlier. Didn't have the mic plugged in, you fucking idiot. But But anyway, I did it again. And this one's just as miserable as the last one. And that had no sound. More miserable. See you soon. Come on, you irons.